say about the gay rights movement than on war.
Okay, so how do you understand hippies from the 60s, the hippies movement, the generation?
My perception?
Yes, define.
They're just people that are free-spirited and want to see peace within other people and other countries.
Okay. So
And they did a lot of drugs.
they did a lot of drugs, they did. Do you believe that there are still a lot of hippies in our generation?
No.
No. Okay.
I think that the people that would be the closest to hippies are more defined as nonconformists.
Okay. Now,
Not because their own personal, deep, convicted beliefs, but because they maybe want to be that way or just want to be different from the mainstream, but not real hippies and what they were premised on.
okay, now what do you think our generation has carried and molded into because of the hippies generation, the 60s hippies? What do you think we have carried from their characteristics? What do you think was derived?
I don't think any, huge ideals were derived from them because things kind of fade out, but music for sure.
Music. Now, do you think that because of the huge change in the way that the children acted in families from the 50s to the 60s, you don't think that the 60s helped shape how defiant and, the teenager rebellion, you don't think that that's from the 60s kind of shaping the new wave of,
I don't think that has to do with
adolescence?
hippies. That has everything to do with Beatlemania, the British invasion.
Okay.
I don't think that has to do with hippies. That has to do with rock and roll.
So you think that our generation was shaped by music?
No, I wouldn't even say shaped by music, but definitely influenced. Shaped is a strong way to put it, but influenced, absolutely.
Okay.
We're shaped by events that happen. We're shaped by our experiences. Supplemental would be the music is supplemental.
Okay. Do you see the same sort of political voices that were heard, especially in 1968, which was defined as the year of the student? Do you see that same kind of conviction at our own Bloomsburg University in politics?
Well, obviously not. For starters, I'd like to point out that I was not alive in 1968. So it's hard for me to compare, but based on media and the way they're portrayed in movies and on the History Channel, it's obviously not the same. I mean, I think people now, the people that are in college kind of see it as their right to be in college. But no, not with the government. I think cares less. It's not that they care less about education, but with the economy, they weren't dealing with that in the 1960s. The 1960s were very prosperous for the economy. But right now it's not, so we're facing budget cuts, which make our tuition go up. So there are a lot more people graduating with huge amounts of loans. So I think people are much less enthusiastic about college. It's kind of not really a way to make your life better, but a way to sustain life. Like before, it was like you could graduate high school and make a living, but you can't now because our minimum wage isn't enough to support yourself.
Okay.
I know from experience.
Right now, just in your entire life, disregarding politics, economy, everything, disregarding that, what do you value the most in your life? Besides your cat.
I was gonna say, don't make me say it. People and learning, I guess.
And compared to what you know about the 1960s and the hippie generation, how do you think that differs to what they valued?
Well, I don't value LSD or marijuana. And
so you think that we've kind of shaped into something better than the 60s generation? Morally.
Different.
And
drugs have nothing to do with moral or morality.
the common American morality, not necessarily yours, not necessarily mine, but the abstinence from premarital sex, that whole Christian, because we are a Christian dominant society.
That's changing.
That is changing, I agree. And you think that has, I mean, it wasn't changing in the 1960s, and now...
Yes, it was.
Okay. My point is, the common American family was predominantly a Christian family, especially compared to now.
Okay.
And they still had lesser values. So what you're saying is that religion has no shape socially on our...
Morality.
Yes.
No. I think that morality and religion are not the same thing, and people use it synonymously. And there are so many different philosophies of morality that people follow every day, they just don't know. There's a lot of different theories about it, but one of them is